Michigan Out of Doors Online is brought to you in part by Red Wing Shoes, located in the shops at Centerpoint in Grand Rapids at the corner of 28th Street and the Beltline. The store has everything you need for the worksite or the woods. Stop in or check them out online at redwingshoes.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to Michigan Out of Doors. I'm Jenny Olson-Silik, and we've got another all-new show for you this week. We're going to kick it off with some fall river fishing. Jimmy and I were actually in two different parts of the state a couple of weeks apart. We're going to show you how we did out there. Lots of fishing excitement on the water. You won't want to miss that. And Jimmy and Jordan have also been working on some other fun for us this week too.
Well, that's right, Jenny. We do have some good fishing on this week's show. After that, we're going to take a look at Tacacam, which is a product that you may want to learn more about if you like to videotape your own hunts. And after that, we're going to learn how to cook over an open fire, just maybe a little bit better than you have before with our good friend Tim Bourne. Lots of good stuff on this week's show. You stay tuned. I'm Jimmy Gretzinger. It's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes. Here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan out of doors.
What a beautiful day in the woods.
Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream, it's a love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Country Smokehouse, a sportsman's meat processor and Michigan destination since 1988. Offers a variety of homemade smoked meats and Michigan-made products in-store and online. The Country Smokehouse features an outdoor barbecue and bar. Details at countrysmokehouse.com. By Discount Door Company, featuring residential and commercial garage doors, door styles, and build-your-own design tool available at discountdoorsgr.com. Discount Door Company, serving West Michigan and the Grand Rapids area for over 25 years. By Hemisphere Design Works, a Muskegon manufacturer of sportsman's outdoor products for over 30 years, featuring the Terrain line of hard-sided hunting blinds designed for quick setup and removal with quiet operation. For more information and other products, hemispheredesignworks.com.
Soaking in the rich tradition of Michigan hunting for over 30 years, Vanguard is proud to sponsor our friends at Michigan Out of Doors TV.
It's been somewhat slow. The water's been warm. There's a few fish in the river. The fish are big this year. There's been a bit of a challenge to get in the boat, but we're landing 2 to 4 fish a day and hooking anywhere from 6 to 10. So
okay,
it's kind of average, not too bad.
And how long have you been fishing the river now?
Since August 24th.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep.
So for quite a while.
Yes.
And you're getting any fresh fish up in here then still?
A mix of both, new and the older ones. Back here maybe 2 weeks ago we had all that rain we had. So a lot of fish that were staging in this area here went up Pine Creek and kind of depleted this section of the river for a while, but it's kind of replenished itself in the last week, so there's a few more fish in the area.
Our anglers today were Greg Dorr and Russ Borst, and we had a fish on first thing in the morning.
Anchor's all the way up, Russ.
We're going for a boat ride.
Oh. Go around. High. Yeah, it's away.
We're moving pretty good.
He's gaining on. He's
coming right here.
Yeah.
That's right here. Oh, he's a nice fish.
Oh, yeah. not helping much.
You walk back. There you go. Yeah. What are you saying there, Russ?
Nice.
And that's how you do it on Michigan Out of Doors?
That is a fish.
Nice job, Russell.
Look at that.
Oh, it's a beautiful male. That's about the prettiest salmon I've seen in 10 years in this boat.
That is beautiful.
Belly.
The only fish you see in this river is
Well, as you can see, this was a very nice fish that we caught in the first half hour of fishing. Well, the next several hours were a little bit slower. So after a few more hours, I had Terry give us an update on the day.
You know, we started actually in this spot this morning. It was, we were 1 for 2 on it, worked our way down, lost our next, 6?
I think so.
Came back to the same spot, and actually got one out of it. So we're going to work it here a little longer and do some more moving around, and hopefully we'll get a couple more 3 bites.
Now, how do you decide? So we get a hook, we can get a fish on. What makes you decide to either stay put or move the boat around?
Just depends on the hole. A lot of it's to do with what I've seen in the hole over the years, where there's wood in it. You know, if we can get out in the middle of the river, if it's open like this last spot was, or when we lost 3 or 4 fish, was we had to stay right there and try to battle the fish at that point. So.
And what kind of gear are you using as far as line and?
Yeah, they're Berkeley rods here. IM8s, 20-pound fire line and 20-pound Sagar leader line.
Okay. Nice.
So use a nice little trolling sinker, which I think helps a lot with the float. So.
Well, we had a lot of fun, but we only landed 2 fish on this trip, but they were both dandies. Now let's fast forward a couple of weeks later when Jenny Olson was on the Muskegon River.
Well, a couple of weeks later, I headed over to the Muskegon River near Newaygo to meet up with Nate Wellman of West Michigan Guide Service. Nate grew up fishing these waters and has been guiding for 18 years now. Joining Nate today was his good friend Jeff Utrick from Lake Drive Marine in Coldwater, Michigan. Nate ran through the game plan for the afternoon.
We are going to go back bouncing for steelhead today. Fishing was pretty good this morning. We got into some kings as well, some fresh ones coming in, and a bunch of steelhead just showed up in the last few days, and they're kind of fun. They're biting good, and they're jumping high, and they're chrome, and I love it. I'm excited.
We wasted no time getting to Nate's favorite holes on the river out here.
Right now we're probably about 4 miles upriver from Newaygo. And, and this is kind of the spawning ground area of our river, and that's what's bringing these steelhead up in here is the salmon that are up here spawning, and the steelhead coming up here to feed on the eggs and the fish themselves. This year's actually a little bit different than several years. We've had a lot of rain in the last, probably 2-3 weeks, and so the water levels are up above normal this time of year. By all means, it's not high. But and I think that's what's helped bring our steelhead and a lot of salmon. We've had a lot of salmon this year, and it's really helped our fishing out a lot, and it's cooled our temperatures down, and it's really making it good. This is actually some of the best steelhead fishing I've had this early in October here on this river. Still going. It's always fun to get kings on this because they got kings on steelhead gear. Trying to go to the dam. That's a big old king on a number 4 hook with 10-pound line.
Makes it more fun.
Yeah, on a 9.5-foot medium light rod.
This big king salmon was actually hooked in the tail. That's definitely not what any steelhead angler is trying to do, but it does happen from time to time when there's so many fish in a concentrated area. The bait gets swatted by a tail instead of a mouth strike. Once this fish was unhooked and revived, it would be released back to the river. Man!
Big old fresh one.
Look at this! Beautiful.
Yeah, clean one. Probably just getting ready to start spawning. You know, I'd say high teens, 18-pounder probably.
Beauty.
Big old teeth in there. Yeah, we're gonna let her get nice and healthy and get a breath of air. Make sure she's all right so she can go back and make plenty more for the future. There we go. Bye, baby.
On the way downriver, Nate showed us one of his favorite sights, a bald eagle nest right next to the riverbank. The nest's residents were fishing from a tree limb about 50 yards away. Nate says this pair of eagles have been residents here for around 15 years now, a pretty sight to see. Maybe they were anticipating the fresh fish arriving too.
They just are coming in the river in the last couple of days, actually. A week ago, there was hardly any. And we're doing what we call back bouncing, which is I run my kicker motor down and idle down the river and kind of zig in and out and go at the speed I need to go. And you walk a spawn bag down the current, basically into their face, and they eat it. And the fish are really positioned behind the salmon that are starting to spawn really heavily right now. And so it's just, that's their food source, is the eggs. And so that's what we're presenting to them. And we cover a lot of water and we look for the aggressive fish. And it's a lot of fun because when they bite it about 30, 40 feet behind the boat, it's like a up close and personal battle. They just hit it hard and get your blood flowing.
Jeff was next up to bring in one of these fresh steelhead in the Muskegon River.
That's all right. Look at that pretty chromer.
Nice.
All right.
Good job.
There we go.
Very often.
Do you do much steelhead fishing, Jeff?
I try to. Unfortunately, my business doesn't allow me to get out as much as I'd like to. But when I can, I get up here with Nate and we go out and have fun. So that's what it's all about.
It really is. You know, you don't stop. You keep moving down through the runs and the holes. And so, you know, in a typical day, I may cover 5, 6, 7 miles of river. You know, and fishing pretty much the whole way through it. So you don't really miss a whole lot. You spend a lot of time with your bait in the water, which, you know, most of us know the more time you can have your bait in the water, the better chance you have of getting a bite. And you just keep covering water looking for those fish that want to feed and not the ones that are just resting, that don't, you know, are not necessarily feeding at the moment.
Next up, we had some excitement when both guys ended up with a fish on, except this wasn't your typical double. Uh-oh. You both got it?
Double teaming this one.
I was pulling up out of the way.
That's all right. Just gotta keep the pressure off. We'll be all right.
Oh, that's funny.
We'll get it one way or the other.
All right, who's got who here?
Nate's got the fish. I've got the Nate.
Now who's gonna net?
I'll go to net.
Camera lady?
Yeah, there we go. We'll figure it out.
That's what happened.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
You got the fish, though?
I got the fish.
Oh.
I wonder if this fish hit both of us. I really do. Well, now we know who to net.
So Nate's hook popped out and you got the fish.
I got the fish.
I think that tells the story.
I really bet that fish hit both of us. Jump for you. They don't want to show off too much. That's it. As long as they bite you. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Now that's called teamwork.
That is teamwork.
That is teamwork.
Oh yeah, look at that pretty one.
That is a beautiful
fish. Boy, oh boy.
Nice chrome fresh male.
I think the fish actually just kind of bit both of us. It probably had one of us and then went over to the other one through resistance so close together and got us both. And Nate's popped out, mine stayed in, and we ended up with a clean fish. Is yours in there too?
No.
Oh, yours popped out?
Yeah, it popped out and broke. Yeah, we just cut the line. The fish will be fine. We can release it, let it go, and catch it again maybe tomorrow.
It'll eat again.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
See, he's looking pretty good. He's fighting me, he's swimming. All right. Thanks for biting, buddy.
Fall fishing is just starting to turn on in many parts of the state and should be good for several weeks to come. We fished the Muskegon for just a couple of hours this evening and headed in before dark. Thanks to Nate Wellman and Jeff Utrick for taking me out on a quick trip to a few of their favorite steelhead holes on a beautiful fall day out here in Michigan's Out of Doors.
Well, hey, we are here today with Paul Kermy. And Paul, we did some fishing earlier this year, and you mentioned that you work with Tacacam a little bit, and I've been wanting to know more about these. I've seen them on the market. How are these, and if you're not familiar with them, they're basically a camera that you can take hunting, fishing, whatever you want to do. How do these things work, and how are they different from some of the other ones on the market?
The way these work, they're very simple. They're made by hunters for hunters. So they're the simplicity. It's all one button.
Okay.
So The difference between this and a GoPro is a GoPro has the fisheye lens. So if you've ever tried to film anything at distance with the GoPro, if something is at 20 yards, it looks like it's 60 yards away. We have a lens that actually has a zoom built in it. So we have, with the 5.0 models, we have anywhere from 3x to 8x zoom. And with the 4.0 models, we have 3x and 5x zoom. So the nice part about these cameras is when that game comes in or that deer walks in, all you have to do is reach down and push that button one time. It's gonna vibrate twice and start flashing and let you know that it's recording. So you're gonna feel it right in the weapon. If you have a gun, a bow, a crossbow, you'll feel it vibrate. It'll indicate that it's recording, and then you're just good to go. So there's no turning it on, waiting for it to power it up, and then hit standby or record or anything like that.
Yeah, you're seeing more of these. I think it was bear hunting footage I saw for the first time, and it was a guy about 50 yards, and it looked like a regular video camera at that distance.
Yeah, even the 3x zoom, the lowest setting, is what your eye sees. So if the game's, like you said, 30 yards, when you film it, it's gonna look like it's 30 yards.
And you can adjust it back, so I've put them on bows or guns or whatever. If you want to see the barrel, you can do that too?
Yeah, so there's, like I said, with the 4.0, there's 3 settings. There's 5x zoom at 1080p, there's 2.7K at 3x zoom, and then we also have a slow-mo mode, which basically is 3x zoom, but it shoots it in 120 frames per second.
Oh, wow, okay. So now, what are some of the common attachments if you buy one of these? Let's say for bow hunters, we're getting ready, the season's starting. What do they come with, and what are some of the mounts that are out there?
So for the bow hunter, if you're strictly a bow hunter, you can get the bow hunting package, which is gonna come with your stabilizer, and the camera just slides into the Tacacam stabilizer. Okay. So you just slide that in, it's gonna have a little thumb hole screw, and that'll mount right there. So anything you're pointing at with the bow, it's gonna record. All you have to do is reach down, hit that one button one time. Then if you're hunting from a blind or a situation where the stabilizer's under the window, we have an accessory mount. We have a wider range of mounts. Our accessory mount right up here on the riser will fit on the riser. I have this on one of the wide versions, so this is our selfie camera. So it shoots it at a 120 degree frame. So you're still not gonna get that fisheye look, but it's gonna give you a wider version so you can face that camera back at you.
Okay, and one thing I thought was really interesting, especially when we're trying to put together a television show, tell me about the remote, because you could have one on your bow, and one in the decoys, one on a bear bait, whatever else. How does the remote work for these?
So the nice part about the remote is the cameras are completely shut off. You can set them up to 100 yards away. You can run up to 5 cameras. You can set one down at if you're bear hunting, down at the bear bait pile. You can put one up in the tree. You can have multiple different angles. Yeah. And they're all powered off, so it doesn't use the battery. It's not like some of the other cameras where with their remotes that you have to turn them on, run them in standby, and then they drain the battery even faster. So the nice part is you just reach down with the remote,
power them all on.
Hit the button one time, and it will power on all the cameras. It will show you in the indicator how many cameras are powered on and how long they're running. You can pause, stop, and shut off the cameras right from the remote.
And walk me through some of so if you got a crossbow or a shotgun or rifle or whatever, and you want to do, what kind of attachments do you have for those kind of things?
Yeah, we have a bunch of different attachments. So this is our crossbow attachment. It's an under scope mount. So this will work on your shotgun, with anything with a Picatinny rail, AR, rifle, anything. So this mounts right underneath the scope.
Okay, so that's okay, gotcha.
Yep, it runs right alongside of the scope here. So all you do is just like the other ones, reach down, one button, it's gonna start recording. You'll feel it right through the weapon. Wow. And then you can just power it off right from the button. So it's gonna have the same field of view as you're looking through the scope.
And that attaches to the actual scope mount.
Yep,
okay.
Right through the Picatinny rail, right underneath the scope. Okay. You can mount these, if you have a Picatinny rail underneath the scope, you can mount them underneath. Anywhere that has a Picatinny rail, you can mount this too.
Wow. And what's been kind of the response as these getting in the hands of more sportsmen? What have you kind of heard from guys?
It's been a great response. A lot of people have been using them the last couple years, especially when the 4.0 came out. The huge advantage of the 4.0 and the 5.0 is the Wi-Fi capabilities. So you could shoot your animal. An animal could come in. You can make a shot on the animal can run off. You can pull out your phone, your tablet, anything that will connect to Wi-Fi. You don't even have to have cell phone service for it to work. The Tacacam creates its own Wi-Fi service. So you connect it right to your phone or tablet, and you can pull up and watch that video, share it to your friends, post it on Facebook, send it as an email or a text, and just shoot it out right away. And then the new 5.0 that has live streaming capabilities.
Tell you what, they're kind of a new fun tool, especially for those of us that are doing a television show. I was really wanting to learn more about these, and can't wait to try them out in the field this year. Paul, thanks for your time.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate it. We have been to this backyard before. Tim Bourne lives here, and his tripod for grilling over a fire is what brings me back. Well, actually, it's his food that brings me back, but he has a new way of cooking, so we thought we'd stop in and take a look.
And today we're going to have a nice recipe for an easy breakfast for your campsite, whether it's deer hunting or even if you're camping with your family. Very easy to do and very delicious. Okay, we're going to start out with bacon. Now you can take the bacon and dice this at home before you go to your deer camp. So that's all diced up. These are corn tortillas that are also diced up, and it's an easy way to do it. Of course, we have your shredded cheese too that you can. So all these you can prepare in advance, put in your cooler, and then you're ready to cook.
Instead of his normal grate, Tim has fashioned a skillet to lower and cook with, and that has made for some really great new recipes.
Yeah, the skillet we come across, because a lot of people would try to put skillets on the grates. That's a dangerous thing to do because it may slide off. It may bend the grate if the skillet's too heavy. So we come across this 17-inch Lodge skillet. We were visiting down in Tennessee and happened to go there where they have them there. And I saw that. I got an idea. I'm going to get those. I'm going to drill them out, put chains on them, and they're a lot safer that way. People love them.
So this is a simple recipe. It's 1 package of bacon and 1 dozen eggs. But the key was the cut-up corn tortillas that crisp up in the bacon grease. It was a very nice addition. Tim's tripod locks into place at the top, so stirring or adding food is easy, and you don't stand the risk of dumping it all into the fire. And once your eggs are done, Tim swapped the skillet for his grate and finished the tortillas. It was a great breakfast over the fire, but Tim wasn't done quite yet. He also showed me how easy it is to do perch this way as well. It was a feast. And if that wasn't enough, we had Todd Caterberg here today with, of all things, an oven for cooking over your fire.
So it started out, it used to be a tradition for us to do pizza night on the weekends. And when we bought our first travel trailer, we decided that we wanted to continue that tradition, but how do you do it without being inside the camper all night? So the idea of the campfire oven was born, and we went with it from there. So pretty much everybody that uses it loves it. They're amazed at what they can actually cook over the campfire other than hobo pies and steaks and burgers and that type of stuff. This changes it to anything that you want to cook in an oven, you can cook over a fire. You can do anything from making your own dough or going to a take and bake pizza place and getting their pizzas. We do a lot of tinfoil meals. So instead of just wrapping individual tinfoils, we use the big pans, put all your potatoes, your meat, your veggies, everything in it, cover it, and put it in the oven. So we've done cookies, been north of the bridge and done pasties in it, anything.
Well, between the oven and the skillet, it was quite a morning. From biscuits and gravy to fire-roasted pizza, not to mention the breakfast and the perch. Let me just say, if you want to cook over the fire, well, this is the way to do it. And if Tim Bourne ever invites you for breakfast, I highly encourage you to say yes.
Thanks for joining us this week for Michigan Out of Doors. Make sure you stick around over the next few weeks. We've got lots more fall fun in store for you here on the show. We'll take you out for some waterfowling, some more bow hunting action. We'll show you some really cool products geared towards the outdoors people here, made from outdoors people in Michigan. You won't want to miss those stories coming up. If you wonder where we are or where we're headed next this fall, you can always check us out online.
Well, that's right, Jenny. Online is a great way to kind of keep track of us here at Michigan Out of Doors. We're on most of the social media sites. You can check us out there, or you can always catch us at our website at MichiganOutofDoorsTV.com. We have full episodes of the show there. Lots of good stuff coming over the next several weeks. Make sure you are joining us on your PBS station. It's a great time of the year to be a sportsman. If we don't see you in the woods or on the water, hopefully we'll see you right back here next week.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by By Greenstone Farm Credit Services, making recreational land ownership possible across Michigan and northeast Wisconsin. Begin your land financing journey at one of Greenstone's 37 locations or greenstonefcs.com. By the locally owned and operated members of the Michigan Petroleum Association and the National Oil Heat Research Alliance, who provide oil heat with bioheat, a renewable fuel source designed to benefit the home and the environment. Details on the web at useoilheatmichigan.com. By Jay's Sporting Goods, with locations in Clare and Gaylord. Jay's has been serving the Michigan outdoor enthusiast since 1971, with a wide variety of outdoor products. The gear, the knowledge, the tradition of Jay's. On the web at jaysportinggoods.com. By G5 Outdoors, makers of the Quest and Prime bows, manufactured and designed in Memphis, Michigan. G5 offers a line of archery bows, broadheads, and accessories. On the web at g5outdoors.com. Closed captioning provided by Marvo Mineral, makers of Lucky Buck, deer management products including minerals to supplement deer diets year-round to improve health and antler growth.
When I wander far away, a dream stays with me night and day. It's the road that leads to my home state. I am a Michigan man. Changing seasons paint the scene like rainbow trout in a hidden stream. The white-tailed deer in the tall pine trees. I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man. Ask where I'm from and I'll show you my hands. Lord above, I love this land. I am a Michigan man. From the Keweenaw down to St. Joe, Kalamazoo, East to Monroe, to St. Marie and back again. I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man. Ask where I'm from and I'll show you my hands. Lord above,